and let's bring in Abby Barmore as we take your questions in the mailbag. Abby, lots of questions this week. Where are you going to start us out at?
All right, here we go. Besides the offensive line, which position groups do you see taking the biggest step forward and the biggest step backward from last year?
I'm saying tight end for forward. I just think, I know they were pretty good
last year
with Vokalek, but he got hurt. Like Vokalek at Northwestern in Ireland, if that Vokalek would have played the whole year, it would have been a different story. But I think Fedoni with maybe Arik Gilbert, by the way, I learned that at St.
Is it Arik?
Yes.
All right, good.
I've heard Eric, and guess who told me the proper pronunciation? MJ Sherman. He referred to him as Arik.
He would know.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But I'm going to say tight end as the one that's going to take the biggest step forward.
Okay, I can say assuredly which one will take the biggest step forward. Fullback. Right? The one that I would say if you're concerned, would be edge rusher. Taking a step back. Yeah.
I mean, Tanner, Mathis, Garrett Nelson.
Right. I mean, it's going to be hard not to take a step back. Those guys are all pretty good.
You're banking on
substantial production and experience.
Sherman, Borders, Jamari Butler, Blaze Gunnerson.
Yeah, those are your guys.
Now, I know they got a lot of guys back, like the same cast, but what about running back? I mean, the fact that you have a proven commodity in Anthony Grant, but you get A.J. Allen back.
It could take a step forward.
And you get Gabe Irvin, who's, just we said, one of the fastest guys on the entire team, with Ramir Johnson, who's a veteran guy. I mean, I think
should be good.
Just the overall complement of that group, I think you feel a lot better about it.
It's interesting
compared to what you did a year ago.
That's a real intriguing one because they were pretty good, but they could take a big step. You're right. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the mobility factor of the quarterback will help the running back. If it is Jeff Sims and they do want to run him more, that helps the backs because you got to account for the running back and the quarterback to run the football, where under Mark Whipple, it was a straight handoff game. And it was a little easier to know and defend the Nebraska running attack under the Mark Whipple offense.
The other position where you wonder if it would drop back a little bit is receiver without Palmer. I mean, they're bringing in Billy Kemp. He doesn't have that explosive speed like Palmer. Who does? Nobody. I don't see a receiver on this roster that has that. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. Kemp's going to catch 50+ balls though. But it's going to look different. It's not going to look like Palmer.
There's going to be a lot more shorter controlled routes.
Sticky routes.
And you're not going to see near the I mean, you'll see deep shots, but they feast. Nebraska's offense won games with like 19 minutes time of possession.
Deep shots.
Can Tommy Hill be that guy?
I mean, he's got to make a catch first.
Well, I'm just saying.
Sean makes fun of
you. Want to talk about speed?
He's a good receiver. Yeah, I don't know.
He's got to be he's the fastest guy in the room, right? So
yeah, you wonder, could he be I don't want to go there where he could be a Trey Palmer. It's way too.
No, I'm not going to go that far.
Right.
But can he be a guy that you can, go run a go route, beat your guy one-on-one? Like, I wonder if he's got that in him.
Well, I think he tracks the ball pretty well. He did play. He was a receiver in high school.
All right, next one. If you could pick one former player to come back for a weekend and spend time around Nebraska's staff and team, like Randy Gregory did recently, who would you pick and why?
Ndamukong Suh.
Oh yeah.
I just think his presence, his visits to the program have been fairly limited since the Jordan Westerkamp Hail Mary game. I mean, that was like one of the that was one of Bo Pelini's that was one of his final years here. But just to get Sue back more around the program, I think would be the guy I'd want back.
Yeah, he's your biggest selling point. I would, beyond that, I go with Amir Abdullah because he played with Matt Rule in the NFL. I mean, like, he's one of the few Huskers that has actually played for Matt Rule. So if you want him to come and talk to the team about what it takes to be successful in his type of program and what this staff is going to demand from you, I mean, he's got firsthand experience from that. And he's an NFL player and one of the better running backs Nebraska's had in the past decade.
I'll throw out a wild card name that wouldn't be expected, Kyle Vanden Bosch. And the reason I do that is because Gruden John used to put up in his team room film of Vanden Bosch playing for another team. It wasn't Gruden's team, but this is the player who plays the hardest in the NFL. And he showed clip after clip of Vanden Bosch. Van den Bosch doesn't, he doesn't come up very often when you talk about Nebraska's all-time best defenders, but he probably should. And he'd be a good guy to bring back here, and I think he would come back.
The problem with Van den Bosch was he was the guy after the guys.
Yes, he was.
And when you go after Wittstrom and Peters and those types of players, like you're not gonna. I mean, no one's gonna top those type of guys.
Yeah, Barrett Rudis talked about how Barrett would have to line up on field goal as like a tackle. He'd have to do a slide step, and he talked about going against Van den Bosch in the NFL, and he said Van den Bosch it was just a matter of how deep Van den Bosch could push him into the backfield.
Is it realistically possible for Nebraska ball to make the NIT tournament or even the NCAA?
NIT for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely in the cards. You get to,
2 more wins,
17 wins. I think you're in the conversation. 18, you're a lock.
What's the record right now?
12 and 13.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's work to do, no doubt about it. I mean, you got these 4, and then you got to do some more work in Chicago. But it's on the table. Absolutely, it's on the table. We just talked about how favorable this back end of the stretch is, how well they're playing right now. Yeah, and NCAA tournament, I mean, that's a much bigger Hail Mary. I think 19 minimum you got to get to, which
7 more.
Yeah, be a heck of a run for a team that, like we said, hasn't won won back-to-back games twice since Christmas.
It would take like a 2013 run from Tim Miles, like the way they finished that year. I mean, they beat Wisconsin, who played for the national championship that year.
I'll tell you something though. I've watched Nebraska basketball for a long time. This team is full of confidence right now. They're a scary team.
There's a lot to be said for that.
And they get this arena for 3 weeks in a row.
I know. I'm telling you, it's gonna get interesting.
It's gonna get silly.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
it could get.
It's gonna get nuts down here.
Maryland. Now, here's the thing. Maryland. That's the game to watch. This game on Sunday. Maryland's good enough to come in here and win. I think if Nebraska wins, it's going to be close. But right now, I would guess Nebraska, but close. I think
Maryland beat Nebraska by 19 earlier this season. Yeah. So,
how many teams will the Big Ten get? 6 or 7, probably. I mean, it's not going to be like the 9
I haven't
or
looked
10.
at the latest bracketology. No, it's not going to be like it has been in previous years. Probably more than 6.
6 no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Is like
6 no matter what.
Is Rutgers going to stay in there? I mean, I know they're going to be good, or
Wisconsin,
good to
Penn
go.
State.
Wisconsin, Penn State certainly is one of those. So they have those teams that are normally locks that are still a bit on the fringe right
now. Like Iowa's kind of in right now, right?
They're in. Yeah, they're in. I'd say Penn State's out.
Wisconsin's probably trending back in.
Rutgers was
Penn State's on the bubble.
Are they on the bubble?
They're on the bubble.
They won against Illinois, right?
Last night they probably got.
Yeah, that was a huge
one
on
the
for
bubble.
them.
Yeah, Rutgers was a 6 seed projected.
They're in, but they went from a comfortable seed to being like in that
play-in game,
8-9 game.
Okay.
There's a lot of teams like that though. The Big East has a bunch of teams like that. ACC. I mean, it's going to be interesting how they seed this thing because I feel like after your top 8 teams, the rest it's pretty close.
Yep.
What do you got next, Ab? We got time for 2 more.
All right. So our next one is probably a clarification question from our last discussion last week. So what's the difference between an offer and a committable offer? And if a guy is an offer, why can't he commit?
Good question. And, in recruiting, you don't get a written offer until I believe your senior year. I mean, so like you verbally offer guys all the way up until they get the official offer in writing. And there's different ways offers are used now. A lot of it is like, can we get this guy on campus? So you say, we're going to offer you, but like in order for this to kind of clear out, you got to meet our head coach. You got to come on campus. We got to be able to make sure you're a good fit. You got to feel like you're a good fit. And that's what you do. When you see Nebraska make 300 offers in a year, a lot of the offers might be in this category, but you also have your board and you have to decide like what offers are good enough to like push that guy up the board and take. And then what other guys might be lower that you want to still kind of keep warm, but you maybe don't want to take right away. So it's a juggling act that the coaching staff has to really manage when it comes to offers.
Good answer, Sean.
Anything to add?
No.
Offers. All right. Final question.
What was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, the one where it was an advertisement for women's football where they're trying to get the flag off of a woman named Flores, I think was her name. And it was an incredibly funny. Like she went into the kitchen of her mom and her mom kind of duped her and tried to get the flag off. And she even beat her mom. It was an incredible commercial. And I thought Rihanna was fabulous.
I like the Tubi one. where like it looked like somebody was like sitting on the remote and it like went to like some streaming service and
Yeah,
started
that's right.
playing Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, that was
Like,
good.
the best part about it wasn't just the commercial, but like the videos, like
Mhm.
Super Bowl party videos that people posted of like people screaming at each other, like, "Who's on the remote? Get up!" Like, I
Yeah.
saw one guy tweeted, it was like, "I called my mom or my stepmother a name, and now I have
Really?
to try to repair that relationship because I thought she was messing with the remote." Like
That was
commercial,
good.
that commercial messed with some family
Smart.
dynamics.
Yeah, it
I
was
think.
smart. Sean, your
You
favorite?
know,
Sean?
I don't know if I had like just one that jumped out.
The Will Ferrell one, where like it was
pretty
just
funny.
nostalgia.
My wife
was
and I
fun.
got a kick that Alicia Silverstone from Clueless,
Clueless,
did one,
yeah.
and we were like, "Ooh!" But I was cooking and doing stuff, so like when there'd be breaks, I'd get up and come back. So I didn't dial into the commercials.
I never dial into the commercial.
I was dialed in. I thought they were all pretty good.
I made a bunch of wings on the Traeger though. We had a
Not a
Nice
boy.
job.
good wing. Did you cook for the bowl?
Yeah, I cook, Sean. I've never cooked anything in my life. I know. I
Like,
don't
do you even cook like macaroni and
No.
cheese? Nothing.
I cook nothing. That's
Huh.
not my job.
So like, what do you do? What do you do? Like,
Job is
so what do you eat for dinner? Or I mean, you brought a sandwich.
Yeah, I make a sandwich. That's
Okay.
not cooking.
it's assembling food.
Yeah, I can assemble food.
You can assemble food, but like you don't even make spaghetti or
No.
hamburgers or hot dogs.
I'll go grill. I grill. I'm a good griller.
that's cooking.
Yeah. Okay. I grill
That counts.
in the summer.
Remember that place in San Diego for the bowl game where you'd grill your own steak? Did you go to that place with us?
I did not.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't nearly as excited about the concept. Like, go to a fancy steakhouse and you have to cook your own steak.
I would call it far from fancy. The name was random though. It's called the Gas Lamp Strip Club.
Yeah.
Hello.
But
Keep that off the old
it's not what you
expensive
think.
word.
It's not what
Yeah.
you think.
That was what really I know. I
But we were there. It was bizarre. We were there with like one night it was like Joe Shad, Dirk Chatlin, like a big group of guys. And some of these guys didn't know how to grill a steak.
That's amazing.
And like Joe Shad, I had to show
That's amazing.
Joe
Yeah,
how to
Joe didn't know.
I had to show Joe how to grill a steak.
Hey, you should have punched him too.
He's like, how do you do? I'm like, you set a
All right,
timer.
sorry, Abby. Go on.
How do we even get on this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Abby, what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Well, I got a list. Just kidding.
Oh god.
You got a list?
Well, I think my favorite one was the Amazon Prime one with the dogs. Of course, so the storyline is that the dog kind of got left behind after COVID, and he was like destroying their house. And so the Amazon Prime, you can like see them ordering a kennel, and you're like, oh no, they're gonna give their dog away or put him in a kennel, and they got him like a little dog friend. It was cute.
Oh, that's nice.
It was a nice
That
one.
is
You should
very,
look it up.
very nice.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the whole production was good. Everything about the Super Bowl was good. The game was great.
I mean, the visual of the halftime show was
it
amazing.
was amazing.
Just like the bells and whistles.
Oh.
And
Rihanna killed it.
now it
Killed it.
destroyed the grass. Did you hear why
Yeah.
the grass? It heated the grass up so bad that it caused like a humidity or moisture.
There
on
was
the-
slipping in the
Well,
first,
especially on the
half, too.
paint.
The
Yeah,
paint-
it was
Time.
flipping.
But
There
then the
was flipping.
halftime show made the third quarter worse.
Okay.
Is what they said.
All right, yeah, that was one element of the Super Bowl that was immensely
This is
flawed.
embarrassing.
Was the playing surface? Yeah,
Oklahoma State provided the grass.
right. That's a
They
bad-
tweeted about it before the game, and if you want some, quick entertainment, go through the mentions of that one. It's pretty.
Okay,
good.
whoever did the grass in Ireland, like those people should do the grass.
Oh,
in
that was
Super
some of the
Bowl.
best grass I've ever seen in my life.
I just got the chills thinking about it.
Mm.
That stadium and the grass.
It was like 100-yard putting green, just
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then, like, if you during the week, if you just step foot on there,
oh my god,
and there were like 3 or 4
it's like a
Irish
federal
you-
crime out there. I
to
think.
step on the grass.
Aviva Stadium. It brings a smile
Beautiful.
to my face to even think
Beautiful.
about it.
The outdoor press box.
Mm.
Yeah.
We had our own private desks out there. Now, the internet situation left a lot to be
A little
desired.
dicey.
My hotspot bill for Spectrum Mobile
Yeah.
roaming
Rough.
was a rough trip, a couple $100, but
What a beautiful stadium, though. I mean,
Oh.
beautiful. If
Feels
the-
like 6 years ago, but man, that was
it
fun.
does feel like.
and when they give you free, we didn't get to enjoy this, but when everyone got a drink for free the entire game, it made even for a better day.
I mean, really, Nebraska screwed that whole thing up. If they win, you were probably going back there pretty soon.
Yes, they were ready to ink the dang deal.
God, and we would the second time around, we'd know what we're doing. Oh my God, it was beautiful.
They haven't even got a 24 game lined up yet. I mean, 23, we know it's Notre Dame, but I'm curious what they're going to do in
2023 is Notre Dame,
Navy.
Navy.
And we don't know the 2024 game yet. So I'll be curious what they get out there for that.
I'll go back.
I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially if we can get the arrangement we had with our friends in Ireland.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Sean, you just came through in a big way.